Hi everyone, and welcome back for part 2 of the motor comparison video. We're comparing a low revving high torque motor to a high revving low torque motor. Part 1 we used the Mazda Speed 3. We're going to take a pretty big left turn. We're pretty much going to flip that upside down, and we're going to use a Camaro iroc Z. I chose this car for part 2 because it makes an enormous amount of torque, more so than horsepower. It actually makes 100 more foot-pounds of torque than it does horsepower. So I figured if any motor was going to demonstrate which is faster, it would be this motor. So just doing pretty much everything to this motor except for a camshaft upgrade. Just gonna try and get as much power as we can without upgrading the camshaft. Gonna start upgrading the rest of the car. We'll do race brakes, we'll do a race suspension, we're going to do a medium chassis reinforcement. For tires, we're gonna put the race compound on this car because I am looking to modify it close to the same level as the Mazda, which was a B600 level car. Now I could have gotten a little bit closer to my 600 number if I had put the widest tires on there. I could, but I decided not to. I did do the normal stuff I do to add performance points, like the best clutch and the best drive shaft possible, and we're gonna add the sport differential just so that we're not spinning one tire. Alright guys, so we're gonna take this Camaro iroc Z to the same course that we did the Mazda on, the Sonoma Raceway short circuit, and we're gonna see what this thing can do. Alright guys, so like I said, this is the high torque setup. It was nice that the rolling start wasn't a collision this time like it was in the Mazda videos. It's pretty incredible how low of an RPM we're at, and actually how low of a gear we're in. This car does have 4 gears, but you're gonna see me jockeying between second and third a lot in this section of the course. It's a little bit annoying, to be honest, and could easily be remedied with some kind of transmission upgrade, whether it be a sports transmission to allow us to change the final drive ratio, or the race transmission, and we could fine-tune each gear. However, I didn't want to do that because I wanted this to be an apples-to-apples test, kind of like our first video was. Get out of my way. Alright. A little bit of tire spin there, not too bad. overall, pretty happy with the way that this car handles and drives. Just going to be a quick comparison between the two motor setups. So here we are coming across the line on our third lap, and our fastest lap is going to be 1 minute 25 seconds 827 thousandths. So that's about 3/10, almost, I think it's exactly 3/10 slower than the Mazda was with the high boost, low revving setup. So it's pretty interesting that these two cars would be so close considering they're so different. You could argue that if this car had as many performance points as the Mazda Speed 3 did, that it would be faster. I'm not going to disagree with you, I think you're probably right, but in this particular case it just turns out that they happen to run a very similar time. So we've added the race cam and we're pretty much downgrading everything else so that we can get to a similar horsepower number. So less performance points, but the same amount of horsepower. I wanted to keep that the same. Alright guys, so this is the high Redline setup. A little bit of kind of learning what gear to be in. Instead of being in second and third to this section of the course, we actually, as you can see, have been going between first and second. I was a little bit surprised at the amount of wheel spin I got from that upshift. Didn't really expect that because this motor makes so much less torque. So you notice the difference between the first two videos, sorry, not the first two parts, but rather the high torque version of this motor and the high Redline, especially going through those corners. Like I said, we're in gear 2 instead of gear 3, and gear 3 in that part instead of gear 4. Just an interesting difference between these two setups when you don't change anything with the gearing. So here we go across the line on our third lap, our fastest lap, 127.2. Yeah, I guess we're way off the pace. I mean, that's like a full, almost full 2 seconds. Not sure what to say other than I was surprised. I felt like the car was faster, but I guess not. Lap times don't lie. So I decided to bring it to Daytona and see how these two motors would differ on a track where high speed is stressed. Moving through the field can be a bit of a pain, to say the least. I like to do it though. It's more challenging than if your car starts near the front. I think it's easier to keep the lead once you have it. So to challenge myself a little bit more, I like to start in the back of the pack. So anyway, you'll notice here, third to fourth, we shifted at about 130 miles an hour, and we're getting into our top gear, which is good. We want to utilize all of our gears if we can. So speed across the line about 162. We got up to 164. We're coming across the line on our third lap. Our fastest lap, 2 minutes 4 seconds, 244 thousandths. Gonna go straight into the high Redline motor. Get out of here, purple car. Purple Lotus. I hit that Audi in both races. That's funny. In the same corner too. I guess that means that we moved up about the same amount through the pack, assuming that Audi's in the same position. Alright, so we'll notice a difference here, shifting between third and fourth. As you can see, we're already at 140 and we have way more RPM left in this gear. Doesn't even look like we're gonna shift out of it before the chicane. We'll see speed across the line. 161. Alright, so we're coming across the line on our third and final lap with the high red line set up. And our fastest lap was 2 minutes, 3 seconds, 547 thousandths. So we were about 7/10 quicker than the high torque, low revving motor was. And, you know, I think that's really interesting because the high torque motor was significantly faster at the road course. I mean, it was like a full, like, second and a half faster, I think. So, pretty significant difference. But yet, at Daytona, the high red line motor wins out with by about 7/10, like I said. So, I realize that this may leave you with more questions than answers, but perhaps if we change some things, like if we did some gear tuning or matched performance points between these two setups, the cars could be more equal. If you want me to do more videos, or if you have any requests, please message me or leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.